Hello.
Hello.
Have you ever been at your local church and thought to yourself, man, this place sucks? Well, these people have, because today we are going to be looking at unhinged church reviews. We have found the worst reviewed churches in the world on Yelp, TripAdvisor, and Google Maps, and today we are going to be taking a look at some of their lowest rated reviews. So, first up, 1 star. It's a church. I mean, fair enough, man. Call them like you see them.
I feel like they should have gave them all of the stars for that because it has one job.
It's ticking all the boxes.
Rough, like. You didn't have any complaints to me.
Or maybe they're saying it's a church.
That's like when you go to a restaurant, you're like, well, it was a restaurant. You wouldn't give it 1 star for that. You would have given it at least 3.
No, because people like restaurants, whereas some people don't like churches.
If you're going to church, you like church.
They didn't know where they were going, and they got there and were like, oh, it's a church.
That sounds more like it.
1 star. The friars in this church will not give Holy Communion on the tongue nor by kneeling. I guess they're too liberal. Sounds like they went to church and this was their favourite part. This is the reason they go to church. For the kneeling and the bread on the tongue.
That's why everyone goes. What do you mean?
I just love the concept of like this person turning up to church, like trying out this new church. They're so excited. They go up to get their communion and they kneel down and the friar is like, no.
Stand up.
We don't do that here. You get up and they're like, oh, fine.
No, and
the priest is like, what are you doing?
I was thinking of that earlier, actually. Don't ask why. We were having a conversation about it.
No, we were not.
No, we were.
No, we were not.
Well, I was thinking about it in my own mind. Anyway, I don't know. I was having a conversation with myself. I think they mostly kind of just hand it to you now. They don't really put it in your mouth.
Oh, yeah, maybe
Did
it's
they put it in your mouth?
I didn't get communion. I got ashes.
I was wondering why I couldn't remember. I was like, I don't remember you sticking it in your mouth.
But imagine just going to receive, like, the ashes. You just try to lick their finger.
Please don't do that.
This next one is super ominous. It's just 1 star.
The devil has infiltrated this church.
We should go. Where is it?
I know, right?
Let's go find out next video.
This was New York. I remember this one specifically.
Well, we can't go to New York.
You make it sound like we're not allowed.
Well, I've never been. I want to go. I want to try the bagels. I want to see the rats. Did I write this?
1 star. My life didn't get changed. Maybe you went to the wrong church. Try the one the devil apparently runs.
No.
Again, different church. 1 star. It's a church. Fair enough, man. Call them like you see them.
I think it's their job to go around and be like, okay, that's a church. To let people know.
I love the idea you're building that. It's like, church inspector looks at the place. It's a church. It's the simple ones that really get me. 1 star. Don't like it. It's just so succinct. Why go?
Find out if you like it or not. You don't know till you try things.
Yeah,
people.
True. They do say don't knock it till you try it.
So that's probably that person's first time going to church ever.
Yeah, and they were like, don't recommend. They locked the door.
2 stars though.
2 stars. So they were enjoying the experience up until the locked door. Let me in. Let me in. Also, were you inside or outside when they locked the door?
Yeah, what if they were on the toilet and they didn't check?
YouTube video coming soon. Staying overnight in a church. I can see the thumbnail now. Boring.
2 stars though.
2 stars, yeah. They weren't cruel. They were bored, but they weren't unimpressed.
I wonder as well if they're like basing that on the church or like the ceremony or like
ceremony.
Whatever.
They just rocked up to a random wedding.
Like
boring.
maybe weddings can be boring.
True,
in churches.
true.
They're just talking for ages. Like it goes on for like it feels like 2 hours. I don't know. Maybe it's just an hour.
The ugliest church in Ireland.
What church was that?
Whose horse is that?
Bit harsh. It's a new church. I don't know if every country is like this, but in Ireland specifically, there's like 2 types of churches. Really old cathedrals that are beautiful, like, and so painstakingly designed, intricate artwork. And then you have these just square modern boxes, and the insides of them are just like white. So like, I get it, to be honest. 1 star. Scary. Are you okay? Were you ever scared of church when you were younger?
Pretty sure the story goes that when I was brought to be christened, I screamed, cried, and acted like the water burnt me. To the point that my family, they called me the Omen, and they wrote on all my toys. Like under a car, I had like 666, Damien 666, like wrote under all my toys. I'm sure like everybody, like all the babies cry.
Yeah, like everyone cries at their baptism, right? It used to freak me out a bit when I was like toddlery age, and there's all this like artwork on the ceilings, and there'd be all these like big statues, and I remember being like 4 years old and like looking up at them and being like terrified of it, like, because it was just so like scary. This one's a little more literal. Just one star.
Church.
Like they were driving down the street and they just looked out their window. Who put a church there?
Got scared by that, so I mean.
No bathroom.
In 2015, they want us to just go out the window or on the street.
They're looking out for people.
That has been a problem for us.
That has been an issue for us, but in a different way, because there's been bathrooms and they've been locked. If you can't, it's in God's house, where can you? But they're really doing the Lord's work, because, you know, think about it. If you really needed to go and you were like, oh, there must be like a church or something nearby, you look it up, now you know. Now you know. 1 star. The staff were rude and not accepting of my child, who was 18 months old. They said we had to leave because he was noisy. Obviously this is not cool. But in my head, all I could think about when I read this was just Jesus. Just being like, oh, will someone shut that damn baby up? I'm trying to hear about me. Very terrible. The food was bland and tasteless. Service incredibly poor. I was disappointed with the presentation. No utensils, and I had to use my hands. Sir, this is a church.
Someone please bring a fork to go and get their communion. And a plate.
Very peaceful.
That's what you want.
1 star. Maybe they were looking for a non-peaceful church experience.
Definitely not.
Maybe they wanted a chaotic mass. You can't focus and pray here. Yesterday was a guy next row almost screaming, give me PS4. Give me PS4. And the best part about this one is I got an actual follow-up to this. Nice inside. However, I prayed for a PS4 for Xmas, but got an Xbox instead, and no way to raise a complaint. Where can I speak to Jesus?
Church. Go to church and complain. What kind of question is this?
Yeah, raise the
Or what kind of
complaint
thing
the same place you ask. Lovely church. Got married there. 2 stars. Maybe the marriage didn't work out, so it's a sore memory.
I don't think so.
This one is labelled Gothic feel. Right, I'm interested. I'm not Catholic, but this cathedral always made me feel creepy. The statues on the side are scary, and the building glows with algae at night. I just imagine a place representing God wouldn't feel so dark. We need to visit, clearly. The building glows with algae at night.
What's algae?
Like, it's so specific. This one's labelled morbid music. The church was not as spectacular as I thought it would be, and the music was awful. I love pipe organs, but I felt like it could be the background to a Stephen King novel. My friends thought the same, with one of them commenting, it would be good background for a vampire movie. Ruin the experience. Another church on our list to visit, evidently, because that sounds like a vibe. And they say they love pipe organs, so like, what do they expect in normally?
Yeah, it's like an upbeat pipe organ song.
Like a jaunty pipe organ tune. They did a cult dance, summoned the great Shrek, and banished all the degenerates to the Shadow Realm.
Alright, who out of my stream was this?
Yeah, who from the Discord was this? Shrek and Yu-Gi-Oh! In the same review. Suspicious. Jesus wasn't even there.
Didn't look hard enough.
1 star. I'm sure he was there. And
Everywhere.
And if he wasn't, there's a lot of churches. You can't be in them all the time. But there was a statue, I bet. Also, I saw another review that said instead of Jesus hanging on the cross, they had a scarecrow.
What?
Yeah.
That's a scarecrow.
Yeah.
That is a scarecrow.
Beautiful indeed. A New York must-see. However, after walking the steps and peering inside along with many others, a priest inside glared at us and shooed us away with his hands like we were diseased peasants. The mental image of a priest just sticking his head out the door. Get out of here. Hey, get out. This church we've actually been to. It's in Dublin city centre. It's 2 stars. It says, I'm only giving this a low rating because they charge you money to come into the church to say a prayer. Common theme amongst these reviews. I've left out all the ones that just complain that they charge you money to come in. But the reason this one tickled me was because it said, the touristy gift shop right in the church reminded me of something Christ might throw out of his house. Jesus' car boot sale at this church. church. But they did say, other than that, beautiful cathedral. It is. It's a spectacular church. I don't remember paying in when we went.
We just walked in.
Yeah, we just walked in. Maybe we were meant to pay. We decided to try this church a few years ago after hearing how fun it was. There was no parking, so we found a spot on the street. A man pulled alongside us and told my husband, "That's my spot. Move now." My husband said politely that we had already been parked there for a couple of minutes and we weren't going to move. Then the man got threatening and said, "You better move or else." I was so scared, I thought he was going to get out and punch my husband. So we just left and parked somewhere else. Shaken and upset, we decided to still go to the service. That same man that had threatened my husband over a parking spot came walking out on the stage. It was the pastor of the church.
I knew it would be
Yeah.
from the beginning, because obviously, like, that's the pastor's parking spot.
There was an addendum on this one at the bottom of it that said basically there was no signage to say it was their spot. It was unregulated street parking. They also said they went to speak to the pastor afterwards and they said he was very awkward but didn't bring up the situation, and neither did they. Then they said they emailed about the whole situation and it was entirely ignored. But this to me feels fake. It feels like, you know, that thing that's like, oh, you're running late for your job interview, so you skip someone in the queue at like the train or the shop or something, and then you turn up and it turns out the person interviewing you is the person you skipped in the queue. Oh, you know.
I think it's so real.
Maybe this again was New York.
Because they would have their own parking spot.
But if it's street parking, surely the priest has got like a sweet spot by the church, you know what I mean?
You should have a little cone or something.
Christ cone. If true, crazy. Imagine sitting there in church and then he just comes out like...
That's hilarious, but I 100% don't doubt it.
Made the mistake of showing up when the organist was playing. It was painfully loud. The place was totally empty. A visit here will definitely cause permanent hearing damage. Worst 5 minutes I have ever had in a church. It sounds like the organist was just going through it, you know? You said there was no one else there. They obviously thought they were alone. Maybe they were going through something and they were working it out through their music.
Make sure to wear inners when you go to
Yeah.
church, you know?
Why, y'all noobs don't bring your earplugs to church? What do you think they were playing? Phantom of the Opera moment.
It was just
vibe.
chopstick. What like that person wasn't even supposed to be playing, and it was just someone random that just walked in.
That wasn't even the organist.
It was just someone that walked in and started playing.
Yeah, this is from another Dublin church. And this one's pretty annoying, and it sounds like they were at fault, but there's a particular part of this review that just made me laugh. My husband and I were in Dublin on vacation. We attempted to see the cathedral today and were denied access. The young man at the gate said that the church was closed for the day, but would reopen at 9 the next day. When I questioned them, as the poster said they were open till 6, they said that the last group entry is at 5:15. I didn't have a watch on, but it didn't seem that late to us. We asked someone for the time 5 minutes later, and we were told, correctly, that it was 4:10. To make matters worse, after us, 2 young attractive ladies asked to go in, and the young men on the door let them in. His behaviour was appalling, and worse yet, that he worked for the church. Very un-Christ-like behaviour. That's my favourite part. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Whenever someone does something remotely shitty, very un-Christ-like of you, friend.
This is what I mean by not all churches are churches. This was a club.
Oh, maybe this was like a secret deal going on. But I love this. Very un-Christ-like of you, my dude. I think that's good merch. Very un-Christ-like of you. That's the follow-up to the Jesus is my homie merch. If we get a minimum of 50 comments in support of the very un-Christ-like of you shirt, we'll put it on the store. So, we hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got a little giggle out of it. We wanted to start off 2024 with something a little more casual, a little more lighthearted. Regular programming will resume shortly, don't worry. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. Comment down below if you want the very un-Christ-like of you t-shirt to be made. Let us know, what do you prefer? Very un-Christ-like of you or very un-Christ-like behavior? Which one you prefer? Comment down below. below and it will go up on the store if we get 50 comments that say it. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing as it helps us out a lot. As always, massive shout out to our supporters on Patreon. We appreciate you so much. If you want to help support the channel, there is a link to our Patreon in the description down below. You will get early access to videos, access to our royalty-free alternative music catalog. You'll also get behind the scenes blooper reels and other special features, and you will be helping support the channel. So if that sounds like something you want to do check out the link to our Patreon in the description down below. And as always, until next time, see you in your nightmares.